I think old Charlie Roby running a new Fouché and Speed and Fab engine. So a few new engines on the track tonight, and these young drivers, when you hear a story about them saving their money and them paying for it, man, they could be getting into a whole lot worse things in life.
Yeah, for sure. Green flags, some came off the line, some stayed still.
Frankie said, I hope this ain't a marathon. I said, old buddy, you better be ready to stand there for about 2 hours.
Yeah, I hope not, but
I know it, but you know there's some good cars and drivers out there. We're going to see. And I think what people forget is some of these drivers, they don't have any driving experience on the road. I mean, they're out there. They really don't know a whole lot of what they're doing. Some of them are just naturals, but the crowd gets tough on them sometimes. But I think they forget that these are 12, 13, 14-year-old kids, man. They don't know what the heck they're doing out there half the time.
yeah. Yeah, I get discouraged at some of the social media comments. There's been times when we go Facebook Live for a youth heat, and then the comments on the youth heat will be that they weren't aggressive or this or that. And sometimes I'll go on as the page and just comment like, hey, remember, these are kids, and they're in the stage where they're learning.
Yep.
You got to cut them a little bit of slack at times.
No mercy from the bleacher creature, Steve.
That's true. Oh, Huff just got plastered. Got the Walmart parking lot up here on the left-hand side. They're getting busy on the right side.
Grand Canyon. Mr. Nichols in that 83 and a half. First time I ever seen that kid run in Portland, Indiana, and I bet he was 11 years old. And when I called him the Grand Canyon, man, his eyes just lit up like he got a nickname now. He was happening. Little Joe Linky out there. He's just a little guy. Said he'd ran many cars, but never a big car.
Got one down already right here in the middle, looks like.
Yeah, that's Violet White. Her stick's still up. Red flags are flying. That's the White Boy design machine sitting there on the crank. Flag's still up. I always call that the lucky dog award. When the red flag flies and you're on the crank, you just get a little extra time to take a look at it. Somebody done lost probably a back wheel there.
Is that the 49X that just climbed out?
I don't know. If so, that's William C. That didn't take long. There must have been something else up under a car as soon as they pulled away.
Right.
Man, when you're an announcer, you appreciate somebody painting a big old bright number like that on there.
Yeah, it helps a lot, that's for sure.
Is that Ryan Clark down there at the bottom of the track, the red and black, that's broadside? I didn't see what his car looked like when he pulled out.
Yeah, it's mostly black with like a red stripe. Yeah, that's him there.
Okay, red flag flying again. Ryan better get the heck up out of there.
Another wheel from the same location.
You was right though, that was Seat down there that got out of that car on the wall. 49X.
Yep.
Is that Pork Chop's head right there, sitting there watching Bryce out there? Lil Pork Chop. He ain't so little no more, he about 6'3". There's Charlie Roby right there in the black and gray. Got the Taz on the top just like his dad Chuck. The Wild Man. There goes the R2. He got out of there. Man, that was not the place he wanted to be. Grand Canyon 83.5, blowing the steam out in the sky.
Looked like the 57 Junior was all done down there in the left-hand corner. That's Lloyd.
Yep, Terrell Lloyd. Gehringer at the bottom of the screen.
Smitley's passenger was waving for something and now giving the thumbs up.
That's probably Joel sitting in there with him. I'll never forget the first time he ever ran. It was a youth and you had to be so old. And I said, boy, how old are you? And he looked at his dad. I said, oh, that you done answered that for me. You ain't 10. Look at him. He's a little guy.
That's like when you go to one of those places, it's like kids under 11 are free, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
you're 10
he got a
today.
mustache and he's 11.
$10K trying to lose that rear bumper. Got one against the wall over there.
Bryce Pauly in that 55 turning her loose over there. He done got the back dragging the ground. He's dragging one down the track. He's going to smoke somebody with the front end. Charlie Roby, if he ain't careful, he's going to get a bad reputation like me. People are going to give him a hard time and say he scratched her decal out there.
Oh, look at the frame coming out of the 434.
Oh, Violet got it fired up. I did not see that she was back in. Her dad, Chad, got him a Reaper over at Dead Man at No Mercy. Looked like she's trying to get one out here, but I don't think they give it for the youth.
Smitley in trouble in the 77, top right corner.
Another red flag flying. Okay, I was just told by Mr. Bryant Mound, thank you, that 801, I said, man, they're from Lewisburg, and I don't know them. Junior Mall riding along shotgun. They're out there checking out Violet White right now. Uh-oh. She looked like she's in a little bit of pain. She's a tough kid. If she says it hurts, it probably does. Her dad, Chad, he's like, you want to keep going? She shook her head, yes.
Somebody just got out.
Look at the frame, Steve. That's what you was talking about, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
They're going to be sitting on the track for long. There's old Ryan Clark car looking good. I like to see that driver's door plate on there. I think that ought to be mandatory.
Yeah. Honestly, in classes that allow passengers, I think it should be on both sides.
Absolutely. Especially after what you guys had to watch happen to Mark.
Yes, sir. Scary stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, during the red flag, it's a good time to mention the lights that you see around the track.
Yep.
Pretty sure those come from Rick Dodd.
Okay.
He's out of Central Illinois and he provides them for a lot of the shows around. Joe Anderson announcing, giving a shout out to Rick for that. And he says, amen to bright, legible numbers and roof signs.
Amen, Joe. Shout out to Joe. It was good to see you the other month, other week. Have a good summer, Joe. I'm always chewing on George's ear on them roof signs. Like, man, I know they look cool, but, man, if you can't read them from 50 feet, 50 yards away. Violet's out of that car. The crowd's cheering.
Nice.
Uh-oh. She looks a little shooken up. Her dad, Chad, Violet. Steve, she ain't but about 14.
Goodness sakes. Can't say she didn't use it up.
No, she did. Like I said, last I saw, you said she was on the crank, and I forgot all about her. I never knew she got it going again, and next thing you know, you seen her go down there and track shot somebody. Cam Penwell.
Tony riding with him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grandpa's on the sidelines cheering them on.
Yes, sir. Looks like we lost Braden Norman out of Canada, the black and green car. Excuse me. And also 55 Apolli was sitting idle.
That was self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Jason Koch was probably sitting right there telling him, go, go, go. He probably having fun. Or he probably was telling him, slow down. Look at Ryan Clark.
Yeah.
I love it, man. He's all over that wheel. I love watching him drive. I am an R2 fan. I see so much of Rick and him. Rick's one of them that'll flat get busy if he's got to.
Oh. That's Dalton Justice in the 01X with the star on the door.
Yeah, I used to derby with his dad back in the day.
Yeah.
Rich Justice. Yep, they're from back home. I think it's like 17 or 18 years old you're allowed to be in this class. He's getting up there in age. He's a big old boy. Who is that? The 50? Representing ICP. That's Corbin Boyles,
yep.
Salem, Indiana.
Yeah, I have a bit of a struggle with youth classes that allow like 17, 18.
Oh, yeah.
I think once you get, driving license age, there's a whole different level of experience that the younger drivers don't have.
Yeah, and I get it. When we were that young, if you wanted a derby, you went out there with the adults. I get it, but
yep.
I definitely that cadet class that we did out there at the SMW Expo, you could not. I think it was like 11 to 14 or 15. I really like that because we're seeing a lot of first-time drivers.
Right.
Charlie Roby all over Linky in that L3. I don't know what he did, but Charlie come in there and stabbed him in the right front wheel pretty hard right there, the 18 1/4. Cameron White. Red flags flying. That was Carson White in the 007. There's a whole lot of track out there in the middle. Telling that 3X Joe Woodward III to turn it up. JD King on the track. I don't know if that's JD or not. Got his hat pulled down too far. Oh,
yep.
It's him.
Yep. Who is the 14M again?
14M.
Oh, right there, Cooper.
Now, I swear I just seen Mike Kinsley out there on the track, but I did not see Nathan Hensley's name on the list. And he's got a car here.
It's possible we missed somebody.
Yep.
Everybody getting resituated here. Back to green.
That old Ford wagon looking pretty good.
Little more hurt on the passenger side, but not too bad.
Woodward III turned it up a little bit.
Lenky in the 11, back-to-back with Roby. Good driving there by the 50. Somebody's starter's grinding. Couple cars up there on the left-hand side that I didn't get the numbers on before they went out. There's the 11 right here. It's not Lenky, but there's like 3 different 11s out here.
Yeah, Marissa Mullins is out there in 11, I know, and we know Hunter Lenky because he got Hunter all the way down the side.
And then there's Sailors.
Yeah, Kyle Sailors. Back in my day, Steve, we used to write our names right over the driver's window.
Yeah.
Everybody could see it.
We're so old. Cam getting underneath the 7.
Yeah, that didn't help that left front out any.
I think he took the bottom of the radiator out at the same time.
Yep, and he was a contender here last year. He was right down toward the top 10, so that's not good for him. My wife texted me, and Violet is our cousin.
Oh,
Violet
wow.
White. My wife's related to everybody in that town, and we got to tell our daughters before you date anybody, you got to ask, that way we can make sure you're not related. But that's what we told them when they was little. But anyway, Violet's grandma was checking in with us on her, so Annette, I do believe Violet's okay. She went out there and hit that car so hard with the front end, it dropped the frame out right down to the mud. So I'm sure she was just shook up and maybe knocked the wind out of her, or maybe she hit her face on the steering wheel. But I didn't see no scratches or any blood, so I'd say it's just going to be nothing but a good memory now.
Right.
Charlie Roby getting up on that wheel down there. There's a cool spring on the track. I'd say we'll see a red flag before too long.
Just going to have somebody catch their attention, basically.
Well, that coil spring will catch their attention.
Yeah, when it goes flying.
Flying up there like a boomerang. Man, I'll never forget, we was at the Redneck Rumble, and for a while they didn't pick up tires off the track, and somebody ran over one and spun one out of their back tire. I promise you, it flew 20 yards in the air and hit Brandon Dixon right in the back. It knocked him flat on his chest. He didn't know what happened. He probably didn't know if somebody come up and shoved him or what, but you imagine that, a loaded tire come flying like that, it probably knocked the crap out of him.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. It scared me. I thought, oh, dang, man, he's going to be hurt. Eli Ramsey, the 46, just took a shot, I do believe, from Linky down there. Yep, the number 11. Eli Ramsey, another one from Michigan. He's going to come down here. He didn't like no part of that. I do believe the Linky boys are liking the full-size cars. They're doing pretty good down there. Look what Charlie Roby has done with the back of that car. Surgeon. Beautiful. Charlie just ran over that coil. That's right down there where Frankie's standing. He's probably down there taking a siesta. We love you, Frankie. I know you're going to watch this. Hostupler right there in that 60 machine. '68 machine.
I think it says 60.
Well, my brain told me 60 from calling his name in Pennsylvania so many times, but it definitely says 68 on our list.
I think we got a typo.
I don't know. Gavin Harold snuck out of the screen in that 00. There he is again. I don't believe I've got an 817. Do you have one, Steve?
817. Third sheet.
There's the 07 Cameron White. 7 Junior Cody White. There's Harold at the 00. Ryan Clark running around the middle of the track. Boston Clemens just on the other side of him in the number 73. Kratzer still rolling in that 427.
817 is Brown.
817 is Brown. I did see Cam White was still up there in the corner. Huff's going to use that wagon for everything it's worth.
Yeah. 7 struggling. Every time they try to go forward, the tire locks up.
Yeah, Cody White, 7 Junior. He's asking for a little bit of help from that 538. He got some.
On borrowed time here. Red flag.
Clayton Day sitting there in that 538. Officials out there talking to Boston Clemens. I do believe Jonathan Plemons probably riding shotgun with him. Little Boston got his helmet off. He's a little dude. Had his last day of school yesterday and rushed here to the Bash for cash. He's used the back end in front of it up. Check him out. Good to see him out of that machine, safe and sound.
That's a little human right there.
He ain't a little human behind that wheel.
You know, the great thing about cars is they're like a great equalizer. You know, my biological mom used to derby.
Yeah.
Back in the day. She always derbied with the men. She never ran with the women in a powder puff or anything, you know. And she always said cars don't have a gender.
Hey. Amen, sister, because that's what I always say. We pull our bridges up the same way when we're behind that steering wheel. Bobby Joe Shipley one that ain't afraid to get out there with the men.
Yeah. Later on this weekend, we'll see the outsiders here.
Felicia Dimmitt.
Dimmitt's, yep.
Yep, she running a brand new engine. I said, Felicia, that poor engine. She lays on that throttle, she don't let off for nothing.
Right. Short-lived green flag.
Cody White got that front. Oh, every time he goes forward, it wads up into the firewall.
Yeah.
He's still rolling around, though. Cam Pinwell's starting to scrape the decals off the side of his car. Somebody better go up there and peel him out of the corner. He gonna be sitting pretty when it gets down to it.
Sometimes your reputation precedes you, and it can help because people get intimidated. They don't want to be on your bad side.
Yeah, that is true in the sport.
Yeah, that's an 8. That's an 8 on the Haas-Stutler machine.
68.
Yes, sir. It's just hard to see at distance. You know, it's up close. You can see the.
We'll just blame George.
That's what I love to do. I love to do that.
It don't matter if he made it or not. It's his fault. He needs to be the leader in that group.
In the early days, doing this with George.
Yeah.
I'd be talking about somebody, and I'd say, "Hey, George, did you make that roof sign?" And he'd be very proud, and he'd say, "Well, yes, I did." And I'd say, "Can't read it."
Yeah, man, what the heck, George? You look out there at Charlie Roby's and Boston Plemons, 73-18, no problem. Eli Ramsey, 46. Look at Ryan Clark's.
Yeah, if I didn't know that was R2, I'd never be able to tell you what it said.
I'm sure I'll get a message from probably Corey Bill, like, "Hey, man, don't be trashing my roof signs."
Corey does a great job. His artistic ability is
Black
is
flag,
right up there,
yep.
man. Yep.
He had a good run there at River City, too.
Yes, he did.
Top 3 finish.
You can't ever, count out or discount somebody who takes it to a driver like Whitaker and fights the fight. You know, doesn't just let him lay back.
Oh, yeah, he went at it. Yeah, that was a good derby.
Yep. Wasn't the 73 of Clemens? What is that? Didn't he get out?
Yeah.
So who's driving that car, or is there another 73?
Is it moving? Oh, we've lost our minds. I did not see a number 73 on there. Where are you seeing those?
See the 73 right here?
Well, that sure the heck looks like it. That's got something after the 73.
73X.
Buddy, I might have let us right off a cliff on that. That might not have been them that got out of that car.
My driver's list shows Clemens for 73X.
Yeah, that one might have been a butcher job on my part. I might have.
Okay.
I don't recall what car that was that they got out of, but that's who I thought it was. I think those M&Ms are kicking in.
We didn't even get you anything from Serena Brandt yet.
Well, I seen her out there and I gave her a high five. I may have got intoxicated off of that. Or Christy Petro give me these Rice Krispie treats. I didn't really ask too many questions about them. It's untelling. If I start talking too crazy, call the ER over here.
Got some debris on the track here. They might do something about that.
Nah, that coil spring's still out there.
Oh. You hear that high pitch line? I've heard that a few times in cars, and every time it was a transmission.
Huh.
Just got real hot. I was actually nervous at Urban Destruction when I was running that car that Riggs built for me.
Right.
Because it was hot, and my transcooler was just boiling steam off of it, and that's what it was doing. It was screaming real high like that.
I've never had one do that. Anytime I heard that sound, it was like a hose or a cap that was just letting off pressure, just enough to make that high-pitched sound.
Yeah. Do you know who was in that white Lincoln?
It said more.
More. Okay. I couldn't read it.
Geringer still looking all right. 538 Clayton Day. 817
Brown, thank you.
Woodward the third over there in that 3X. Looks like he's peeking through the hood, not over the hood. Been there, done that. Dalton Justice still out there in that 01X. He's gonna, his back wheels are moving and he ain't going anywhere. That last shot may have just took him out.
Dalton?
Yep. That, unless somebody's able to get him spun around, that right rear bumper is stabbed into the mud like a steak.
Steak.
Speaking of steak, Christy Petro last night, I bet I had a porterhouse steak. I bet it was like 13 inches around. I said, Paul, that must have been some farm cattle beef. It was a good steak.
Boy, somebody got into the 3X, huh? Woodward got
wadded up. That's why I said
front.
he was looking through the hood, not over it. Yeah, that right side's jalopied. Ryan Clark's got his front snooted up a little bit. Matt Linky's son out there still rolling in that number 11. Haas Stutler down there. Ethan Durr, I believe, is in the black 7. There's Charlie Roby in the bottom left, the 18 1/4. Number 20, Jesse Zemanski. There's the ghost, Boston Plemons.
Yeah.
He got a clone out there.
tough doing work with that wagon. It's just going further and further down with every hit.
Yep, Eli Ramsey right there in 46. Checked the brakes before he went front to front with Charlie Roby. There's the Kratzer machine, the 427. KY boy. Somebody's snap, crackle, popping out there. Make me hungry for Rice Krispie treats. A pretty nice little shot there on Hostetler by that number 50, Corbin Boyles. Boyles again. Out there representing Iron City, running up and down the track. The red flags are flying. That's a 19, ain't it, Steve?
Yep, money 19.
Money 19, yep. That's Shelby Owen.
20's climbing out.
Zemanski pointing down in the hood. He's like, where's everybody at? Come on. Now, my stuff's burning. He giving him heck. Michelle Guy right there.
Anyone?
He's flipping out. Here come the fireman. I don't see any smoke. A little bit coming up out of there. I can see Michelle Guy down there in the bottom left of the screen. Like he pulling the battery cables.
Yeah. This where they just douse his carburetor for good measure, ruin the engine. It might be out, but let's make sure.
Well, usually if it ain't too bad, you can use that fan and just give her about 4,000 and blow it out. Now, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, Smash It's one firing out. I don't know if that's changed, but I'll never forget. I think I was down like second place back when they had them in Bell Fountain, and I had just a little bit of oil come up on the valve cover. I mean, it was like a birthday candle. It wasn't crap. I had it blowed out by the time they got out there, and they broke my stick, and Chad Cole got to win. I said, that's the dumbest roll I ever heard.
It's heartbreaking when they're minor.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, I had it out. I had it out before they even got out there. Guess I should have had a better breather cap.
I had a friend that at the Derby, he's running a Chrysler. The accelerator pump went out on the carb, so it would run while it was running. It would be fine, but it wouldn't feed it enough to start. So he turned the air cleaner around, ran a little tube for ether, and had starting fluid with him, and he was spraying it in a tube.
Get it to run.
And it would start up, and then it would run. So before he goes out to go to Derby, he sprays the ether in there, touches the hot wires, and both of his hands catch fire.
Oh, man.
And he just jumps out of the car.
Oh, fire. Oh, abort mission. That backfired.
Yep.
Hostetler's a good little driver. He is on track to be there at the bottom. Man, if this was a DTV event, you had that used up award or whatever, that old Huff 23, man, he's used every inch of that car. He's still rolling.
Yeah, the junked award.
Junked award, yeah. And that can be whether you junk it or somebody else, right?
Right.
Clayton Day staying nice and quiet in that 538. There's a few of them out there just sneaking around. Hunter Linky still rolling out there in that number 11. Joe Woodward the third. That front being all wadded up has not slowed him down. Boston Clemens, Ethan Durr, the number 7. Trevin Meyer, the 509. I'll tell you, that's who been sneaking around because I've not seen Trevin one time. Still looking good. He was one of our top 10 drivers. Yep, Huff South, the 23 finally out. Hunter Linky, a shot on Huff right before the red flag. And Huff was waving off. Looks like they're getting up out of that. Yeah, Trevin Meyer, he's a good little driver. Dave Meyer's son, he was one of our top 10 drivers last year.
Yeah.
He's still floating around out there. That means he's been tucked away somewhere safe. We ain't seen Cam Pinwell in a while neither.
Yeah, they're down this left side of the track, just tucked away over there, just sort of jabbing at each other, I think, you know.
Yep.
Oh, somebody, the
Durr water.
Durr asked for water.
Did it make it in the window?
It made it in, but it ended up in the back seat.
He give a thumbs up. Nice try. Ryan Clark still down there in that R2. He's slowed it down quite a bit since he's got the front end snooded up. Woo. Hunter Linky making Dad proud out there. Matt Linky builds transmissions. Joey builds the engines. Otis Motors. That's a good group right there. I see Michigan. I see Canada. I see Kentucky. I see Ohio. I see Indiana. What a group.
Another red.
Officials talking today in that 538.
I'll tell you what, I've been trying to go through and actually mark. Hey, look, they picked up some coil springs. Go through and mark the list as to who I see is no longer in the car,
right.
Sticks down. I know I haven't got it all right. But here's a look.
That a boy.
Anything that's gray like that, they are out or should be out. Of course, our lists are always unofficial.
Yeah, we can get in trouble with that, can't we?
Oh, yeah.
I ain't going to be the first time I ever been in trouble.
So really, we just got just over 1 page of names, which means there's about 24 drivers left, according to what I was able to mark. So we're just about halfway.
So my old buddy Adam Fouché helped me out. He said that was Carson White's 007 that jumped out of that car when I was calling him Boston.
Gotcha.
The crowd always knows best. I need all the help I can get. Thank you, Adam. It was probably Jackson that figured it out, not him anyway. Is that Ty Richards out there riding shotgun with Trevin Meyer?
I didn't see. I can't tell through the helmet.
I see Richards on the chin, and that's his eyes. He's pretty good friends with Dave and them.
Yeah.
His grandma, he's got family up there in Michigan. He comes up there and runs for TNT last year a few times, and his family come up there. I always give him a hard time about this. Like, hey, if you can't fix it yourself during the Derby, sorry about your lunch.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't feel that way if it was me they was helping.
Right.
Oh. Serena's out there passing out waters.
My goodness.
I hope she's giving them water and not what she give BJ on night one. Charlie Roby out there. I can't tell who that is with him. That don't look like Chuck. I don't know if Uncle Daryl's here. I can't see in there to see who that is.
Money 19 climbing out.
Adam did confirm that was Daryl. I thought that looked like his helmet. It's just been a while. Daryl Monroe out there riding shotgun. I kind of like his people helping me out.
Yeah, it's nice.
That does help.
It's nice. Sometimes you got to be sure you can trust the info, though.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're out there just spreading misinformation.
Well, that's why I mentioned their name. So I say they said. It wasn't me. It was them. The Blaine gang. Adam, I said uncle. Adam, they're all related somehow. That whole group. He said his sister, not uncle. All right. Look like we're under red flag right now. Look like they had to give a little assistance to Riley Huff there in that number 23. So going to give them the time that they need. The good thing is that they've got her out safely out of that machine. And I said that car got used up,
yes,
front and back.
And they were waving off just before the red flag.
Yeah, and he got up out of there. Yeah, I seen that. Adam, thank you for that, though. That whole group, Lloyd, Daryl, Chuck, all of them. I don't know which one of them is related and who and how, and you throw Joel in there. That's a good group.
Yeah.
Had a good run over at Spring Explosion, too. Uh-oh, Joey Linky's son. I just heard that engine a-roaring. He's all over Ethan Durr's number 7. That is Jacob Linky. Jacob, I am sorry. I will stop calling you Joey's boy. He is out there earning his name. Eli Ramsey still rolling in that 46, representing Michigan.
Mark, maybe you might know this answer because you know some of these younger drivers from where they come from, but
yep.
I'm seeing a lot of these, like the white cars, they've got the white tape on their pillars, and there's several cars that have it, but not all of them.
So Eli Ramsey, he runs with that group. I crossed paths with them at TNT up in Michigan. Which you guys, are you coming to Wexford Warzone?
Yeah, we'll be there.
Okay, so you'll probably see those guys. Billy will be there. You'll probably see those guys. But yeah, I would imagine, Steve, they I've seen people do that, put tape on there so they can find each other. I mean, whatever helps you or whatever makes you feel comfortable. I personally never had a problem finding where my partners were at, but if that helps you, whatever helps, do it. And who gives a crap what anybody says? There's quite a few of them out there, though, that's got it. Makes you wonder if Smash It, I don't know what's up with that. Because Boston Plemons, I seen some on his back pillar. Right. He from Kentucky. I know he ain't rolling with them.
Yeah, Charlie Roby's got some on his C-pillar there.
Oh, they're all running together.
Yeah. Hey, did you see what happened to Cam?
Is he out?
During that red flag, they showed he was underneath the back. The back of his car was underneath the front of somebody else's, and he was just sitting there done.
Ooh-wee. Hey, B-Man, me and Steve have not drank anything, buddy. I think it's these Rice Krispie treats Christy Petro made. Ryan Clark, Trevin Meyer. Man, we are getting down to the meat and potatoes. Gehringer still in there. See that front top left side of the screen? There's a handful of drivers that's been up there a good bit of the time.
They're trying to tell a 00 to turn this flag down, but
Frankie gonna wave the red flag. He said, who, me? Gavin Harold, the 00, is out. Uh-oh, Joe Linky's up out of that car.
Yeah.
Jacob Linky must be done. Yep, he's out too. I was going to say maybe he just kicked Joe out. Said, if you can't keep quiet, you're going to have to leave.
Clutch Marl's tuning in at home. He says he's waiting for the outsiders while he's there building a minivan.
Clutcheroo, my man. Clutch, when you run off and get so famous, don't forget about me, buddy.
Crystal Pence rooting for the Canadians.
There's Amanda Perillo down there with Michelle Guy. She got the 2 wildest power wheel drivers in the state of Pennsylvania.
Oh, boy. Stephanie Mertz-Miller cheering on Charlie Roby and Boston Plemons.
Yep, Kentucky strong.
She said that her nephew was supposed to be in the youth full size, but his motor blew after he passed inspection.
Adam just gave me the whole family tree. I ain't even going to read it. They're all a team.
Christopher Reynolds from Ontario, Canada, cheering on the Canadians, and he says, "Hi, Mark. Pleasure talking with you at Frankie's show."
Hey, hey, hey. Stop me the next time, too. I like it when I see that, Steve. When I see whether it's a family or a group of friends, when it seems like they're about 20 or 30 deep at every derby, you see them and they're just having a great time and they're always together working hard. I just love seeing that, and that's one group that's like that.
Yeah.
The Brawns are another group like that. They'll have a whole group of Skull and Crossbone fans cheering for them tonight. Hunter Linky in that 11 went down there and found Mr. Ryan Clark. Man, Joe Woodward III is still out there. The front of that car was trashed 20 minutes ago. Corbin Boyles going to take a shot from the 538 of Clayton Day. Trevin Meyer, Michigan driver, right beside Eli Ramsey. That brown 817 still coming up out of the top left side. We might be down, we're getting close to that top 10, and I do believe there will be, I think Tim gives 10 nominations to the Hardcore Youth National Championship. I believe that the top 10 gets those. Frankie Guy gives a certificate, a certified certificate from Hardcore Promotions, and man, last year I think they gave the whole top 10 one of those certificates.
Right.
Which is where probably, I can't remember. No, I don't think Cale Norris got his there, but it definitely produced some good drivers. Cam Penwell was one of them. Dylan Meyer. '50's on a one-wheel peel, it looks like. Kratzer still rolling out there in that 427. Ryan Clark going to take Hostetler down there, and Joe Woodward III all over the gas in that 3X. Somebody just jumped up into the 7,000 range.
Yeah, and usually that's not so good. Usually it means something to let go.
Well, unless you're PJ Snar, and then it's okay.
Yeah.
And then you can shift even. Just stand on it and steer. Joey and Jacob Linky out there on the sidelines talking to Mr. Frankie Guy, standing at the 50-yard line on the side, on the other side of that concrete wall. I see 4, I see 8, I believe we got 11 or 12 of them out there. We're getting close to that top 10. Look at that guy out there standing there live, Steve. Let's go out there and let's be the Derby Nation police and go out there and shut him down.
Right. Have you seen Norris for a while?
No, I have not seen Cale Norris.
How about 721 as 6 sights?
Nope, he's out. Eli Ramsey got a broke trailing arm. 817 of Brown got 2 front flat tires, and he running the crap out of that car.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got somebody timed out or what we got here. Yep, he's done. Brown's out, the 817. Looks like the 50's out of that ride as well. Corbin Boyles.
Cam White still running? 07? Haven't seen him for a bit.
I have not. We still got the 7 of Kerr. Durr, yes, thank you. I like sitting there during the red flag and hearing that engine run about 2,500 RPM. You can just feel the heat coming up off of it. You know you're getting close.
Back to green.
Look like Boston Plemons is about as good as building one of those fan shrouds as I am. Every one I ever had, it was hanging down, dragging the mud. Eli Ramsey's hung up in a cobweb over there. He was able to spin it off there. He got that left front corner up in the wheel well of that dead car. Kratzer's on the crank right there. 427. Nope. Looked like he was going to roll. Looked like he was just sitting there at first. Haas Stutler, the West Virginia boy, still out there in the number 68.
Ryan Clark still moving around in that R2. Woodward still has some life in that thing.
Yeah, they must got plenty of power under the hood, because he had the front of that thing wiped off nothing short of 30 minutes ago, and now he got not much bit left of the back. Indiana driver, probably about 25 minutes for me, Connersville, Indiana. That's another group right there. They always have a whole slew of people. That family is infested with demolition derby.
Connersville's 25 minutes from you?
Yep, we're right there on the Indiana border. Yeah, and you went there and ran, didn't you?
I went there and derbied. You didn't.
Am I in trouble now?
You didn't come watch me
Sean
run?
Reese didn't tell me it was happening. No, I was probably working, truth be known.
Yeah, you probably were. Probably were. Woodward, out of steam. Had some black smoke coming out for a little bit, but now that's subsided. Time winding down on the 3X.
And on the stick, he's out. Pretty good run for Joe the third. I don't know if he's got Dad out there with him or Grandpa.
Ramsey in a 46, maneuvering around. Roby's done a good job of keeping the damage to the backside of the car and protecting the nose.
Yep. He's on track to be there at the bottom. Hostetler trying to stick the right side of that front corner up in that wheel well of Charlie Roby. He did not get in there far enough. He just caught the back of the fender. Somebody's drive shaft off the track.
Out of Durr's machine?
I don't know. You'd think they'd be getting out if it was.
I think they're getting out.
Joe Woodward the third out of that machine. Good run for the number 7 of Durr. Clayton Day, that 538. Ryan Clark, right there in the black and red R2. Eli Ramsey in that 46. Right there's Canada, Ohio, and Michigan. Hostetler West Virginia, Roby, Kentucky. I believe that's Geringer.
920.
Yep. Portland, Indiana. Man, Indiana, Kentucky, Canada, Michigan. What? How does that happen, man? What a mix.
Yeah. I mean, hey, bash for cash.
Yep. Clemens, Kentucky. I always think, how does a 14 or 15-year-old kid even process winning a 50-car heat at the Bash for Cash?
Yeah.
Probably talking crap to their friends. Kratzer, the 427 still in there.
Yeah.
Trevin Meyer, Michigan, 509.
Last year, fuel consumption was an issue. We might get there again this year.
I don't know if they have a tank limit on those things in this class. I'm not sure what those SMW, if they limit the fuel. I remember Rumble at the Rock one time. They made us, it was like 2004. They made us all buy a jerry can, those gas cans on the back of a Jeep.
Yep.
We had to buy one of them. That's the only way you could run is one of them, and I think they're 5 gallons, so everybody on the track, they could only have 5 gallon.
Yeah.
It sucked because you had to go out and buy all kind of different stuff to make it work and make sure it was going to be a good tank. But that's how they regulated us sandbaggers. Didn't stop me from bagging, Billy. I got my butt kicked, actually. Butler County brought it to me and Petro. We left there. We went to Richmond, Indiana. I run again with Mark Hibbard that night and Tommy Wyatt's car. Oh, the memories. Best times of our life, man, out there on that track. It don't get no better.
I believe it. Even some of my worst times on the track are better, you know, like they're experiences, you know.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I don't get too worked up about teaming. You know, that's probably just old school, but I've been on both sides of those tracks, so I've been on the bad side and the good side, and I mean, it's always going to be a thing, you know. I always say just try to get some friends or take some, you know. Usually the guy out there that's getting teamed either come by himself or don't get along with people, you know.
Well, I've always struggled in this position doing commentary because maybe it is old school. I have a different view on what teaming actually is than what a lot of promoters these days actually enforce.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not teaming unless you're being held and hit.
Right.
Anything else, if it's, you know, if there's 4 cars and 3 of them are taking turns hitting one, to me that's derby.
And yeah, and then there's the perception of what is being held and hit, because I used to be able to, man, I could spin somebody around and,
yep.
and here'd come Petro or somebody or Toby and wax that tail. But it's an art, you know. I mean, and you see people and that's why Zach Campbell was getting frustrated with Freebie last night, because he had that guy set up for the layup, actually for a slam dunk.
It's just a difference in experience, and he'll pick it up.
Oh yeah. It truly is an art out there. What you're able to do out there with a car. And then my favorite is when somebody goes to drive it off the track for you and they're like, it ain't got no steering. Like, yeah, it ain't had steering for 30 minutes. It didn't stop me from doing donuts. Get it off the track.
Figure it out.
It ain't got no brakes. I know. And it's almost like it makes you feel good when somebody's like, man, I can't even turn this thing to exit the track. And you're like,
yeah,
buddy, I've been out there laying it to people. And it's that adrenaline. And then you go home that night and your forearms are locking up and Charlie horses. And, oh, man, there ain't nothing like it.
Man, look
you
at
can tell I'm
Look at the 73X to Plymouth still wheeling out there. It's off the right side of the screen now, but.
Oh, yeah. And this was his first run, if I remember right, last year. I don't know if he run, throughout the summer last year, but he was a natural right out of the gate. He did well last year. I believe he got in the top 10, if not close to it, last year. I mean, everybody left. Ryan Clark, he's a little natural.
Yeah.
Hostetler, every time I cross paths with him in Pennsylvania, he's at the bottom. Trevin Meyer, natural. There's Boston Clemens. I run into Dylan and Trevin Meyer in Michigan at a TNT show, and they was running mini cars, the street stock cars, and they didn't do too hot. I said, boys, you like these cars better than the full size? They said, no. Man, we might have talked our way right into the top 10, Steve.
I think so.
Where's everybody else at?
There's, I think, at least 2 still down the far left side.
Yeah, Gehringer's probably down there, I would imagine.
Yep, right there. Lower right screen. Hostetler, man, they've worked the back of that car so much, and it's still just holding that rear end right in place, wheeling pretty confidently.
They're no joke, man. Ed Woodard did give me a confirmation. He said that he thinks that Joe the Third is 12 years old.
Oh goodness!
I love it. I love it. He probably pumped up. He had a pretty good run. Eli Ramsey about got the front end wasted off of that thing. 5:38, man. Clayton Day, Rootstown, Ohio. I have no clue where that's at, but he's been sneaking around there the whole time. He's looking good still. Charlie Roby's still looking good over there, the 18 1/4. Ryan Clark got the right rear wore off of that thing. Makes you feel pretty good when people tell you that they're having a good time listening and watching at home, because when I'm at home, I appreciate you guys and anybody that's making me feel like I'm somewhat there, like you're letting me inside what it feels like to be there. So we definitely appreciate all the nice messages. I know Steve does as well.
Yes. Ramsey got caught in the middle of a sandwich there, and it bellied pretty good.
Foo bar.
Yeah. Got to move it again.
Yeah. They're no joke neither. They always run good in Michigan. There's Geringer running out of there to the 920. Ramsey 46. Hostutler 68. Roby 18 and a quarter. Clark R2 538 of Day. Meyer 509. There's the Kratzer 427.
Clemens.
Yep. Boston Clemens over there on the far end. Had to take a short pause there. In the meantime, Steve, Ryan Clark was out there throwing rooster tails out in the stands.
Look at the rear end on Hostutler's machine.
Oh yeah, Roby's as well.
Ooh, I think I just saw fire.
Where?
46 and Ramsey.
Up through the hole in the hood?
It was tough. The camera shot was through the back window, so it looked like it was coming from the engine, but I couldn't tell.
Up through the firewall. Look at the front of Day now, the 538.
Oh, yeah.
When it gets down this far, man, a lot can happen in a few seconds.
Yeah.
Geringer, one of the best looking cars. I don't know, Steve, if that's Geringer or Geringer, and I think they've even told me, but my memory's failed me.
I have a hard time with all those. I think just from what I've spoken before, I default to Geringer, but I don't know if that's right.
Ryan Clark got a broke tie rod, looks like, over there on the left side. Maybe. It's flopping around pretty good. Geringer was able to get out of the way of that. He was coming in for that wheel shot. Look at Clark. Yep. Man, it is down to it. I love it. These are young brains out there. There's some big decisions to be made. All it takes is one little mistake when it gets down to it like this. Looks like official telling the Boston Clemens to break his stick.
That's interesting. I guess, did they time out being hung together? He didn't make it.
I don't know. He is on the back Eli Ramsey, but I mean, I wasn't watching close enough to say anything.
Sure.
A lot of times when you're hung up, you can still make contact with other cars and stay alive. If that's the case, we dropped one off the Kentucky crew. That leaves Kratzer and Charlie Roby. And we dropped one off the Michigan crew. That just leaves, yep, that just leaves probably Trevin Meyer for Michigan. Ryan Clark. Day, that 538. Man, that rag hanging out the front of Kratzer's 427 is bugging the crap out of me. I've been fighting saying something about it because I don't want to jinx him, you know, because
right.
Which if it hopped up in there, it'd probably just shred it. Just makes me nervous. I've seen people run them ratchet straps on the, I see that thinking, boy, oh boy, you better count your blessings if that ain't in the fan before the end of the night.
Yeah.
Day going for a little bit of a ride there. He's up on the back of the 509 of Trevin Meyer. When he hopped down, ooh, I thought it hooked on something. That made me nervous too. When he hopped down, it looked like it hooked on the back of that bumper. Trevin Meyer looked like he got a left rear flat. It's hard to see from here. It looks like it. It looks like that rim spinning inside that tire a little bit. Either that or it's just rubbing the body there and smoking. That might be the case. No, it looks flat. Kyle Stutler, 68, running up the back of the Kratzer 427. Apologize if you hear any crunching. I'm over here wearing out a bag of M&Ms. I dropped one on this old ratty couch that Steve sits on all the time. I picked it up and didn't think twice about it. There's no shame in my game. Oh boy. Frankie guys standing on the sideline. I know he get tired of standing there, but this is when it's time to look alive, because anything could happen when it gets down to this, and he has got to make the right call. Somebody better take him at 12-12 from Dunkin' Donuts down there and keep him away, because I have a feeling we're going to have a good finish here. Somebody's going to win this chess match. I could watch this stuff all night. It don't bother me a bit. Ryan Clark's still fighting that left front wheel. He's having to run her pretty hard now. Trevin Meyer, 5:09, going to shove him one down the track. I mean, this bumping and grinding, this tearing these cars up, they're starting to fall apart. Kratzer still got a pretty decent front end. Gehringer, his starting to snoot up a little bit. Trevin Meyer might have the straightest front end. Hostetler, that right rear just smoking like crazy. The body's watered up into them tires.
Everybody showing the wear that comes with the battle that they've been in. Some faring better than others.
Yeah, Charlie Roby's still looking pretty good too. I forgot about him. Front end still sticking out there pretty good. Breaking in that new engine right. Really everything Hostetler could do to move. He's going to melt the right rear tire off of it pretty soon. Man, that core support's jacked on Kratzer's 427.
Yeah.
Them aluminum radiators, they can take a pretty good bend and still hold water.
Especially the Speedway ones for some reason.
I don't know, man. I'd never ran one. I run one at that River City Derby, and I bumped into the back of somebody, and their sheet metal hit my hood, and I seen that radiator crinkle. I could have passed out. I could have passed out and died right there. And I never seen no water. I thought, boy, the Derby gods is on our side tonight. Yeah. I was afraid to even drive over a bump after that for a little while, but yeah, man, I've seen people take them things out of cars holding water. It looked like you've been it like a horseshoe.
Right. 538 a day on borrowed time at this point.
He's hanging in there. I mean, he's still got a pretty good back of his car left, but he's using the he's using the front. Charlie Roby looking real good. Trevin Myers, a risky business down there in the corner. He's got Day right behind him. If Charlie Roby is able to pin him in there, he's got Hostetler in there. There's a dead car behind Hostetler. Yeah, boy, Charlie Roby.
Taking 3 for the price of 1 right here.
Well, I try not to say what he should be doing. Trevin Meyer is going to come out of that hole you just watched. Charlie Roby is going to allow the 509 to come out. He couldn't keep them all 3 in there. He tried. That was heads up driving for the 18 1/4. Looked like Day stalled out in that 538.
He reached for the flag, but then, oh, there it goes.
He's got it. He's out. Now Roby, he's got Hostetler down in the corner. Ooh, front to front. Hostetler, now Trevin Meyer is into the back of Roby. Is Gehringer, Shirley Gehringer still down there too. That was a good job of driving for the 68 of Hostetler. He was in a sticky situation. There's a lot of grown folks that would not have got out of that.
Yeah.
He did.
Stayed patient.
Yep. You got to. You see people all the time get down there and panic and start doing and start laying into the fuel, and they almost help stuff themselves down in there even further. There's a few down there. I'm going to say Shirley Gehringer's still down there.
Speak of the devil.
Yep, there he is. And it should be Ryan Clark down there with him. Kratzer should be down there.
Clark's right here facing us.
Okay, yep. You can see the front wheels.
Yep, got it refired.
He's got Rick Clark riding shotgun. Rick coming off a big win yesterday in the last heat of the night. Headed to the feature with Les Johnson and Rob Switzer.
Ryan all by himself over here trying to get back to the action. Needs to make a hit. Let's see if we can get a better angle on this.
Look what happened to Trevin Meyer. I said that left rear was spinning. Well, he spun it off, and now he's in trouble, and ain't nobody going to help him. Now there's Ryan Clark fighting the steering. We got to get the camera back over to the left. There's Hostetler. There's Gehringer.
Roby.
Charlie Roby. And Kratzer's 427, yep. Ryan Clark's on the clock. He's got to get back down to the action. We may be down to 4 cars. I don't think anybody going to help Trevin Meyer. I would imagine that's Ryan Clark down there trying to bounce off anything he can to get back down the action. I would expect nothing less of him. Man, I think it is Gehringer.
I don't hear anything down the other end.
Look at Hostetler. He can't back up. See if anybody notices. They need to cram that in there. One more good shot. He's done. Uh-oh. Charlie Roby's seen it. Nice driving by Hostetler. He had to pull up and give her a little juice and get a run at it. I love to see that too, because he's out there riding alone. He's making all the decisions by himself. I ain't taking nothing from any other drivers, but it's fun to watch them. I've seen his dad run with him most of the time, so I like to see him out there alone. They're going to leave him out to dry, and he's going to sit down there. We may be down to 3. If I'm them, I'm going to the other end.
Yeah.
Gone.
He's being told.
Well, yeah, they're going to mess around and let him make contact, and he's going to be right back in it. They're counting on him. Charlie Roby right behind him. He's back in the action just like that. Shame on him.
They're going to flag it. They had already told him to break.
Okay. Well, he's out. We're down to 3. Wave the green flags. They're ready to go. He broke it already.
He's going to climb out.
Yep. He's getting out of that car.
Three more to go.
You ever see Butch break his stick?
Nope.
He takes it with him. He don't let nobody touch it.
That's awesome.
I love him, man. Some people just fascinate me. I can't get enough of him. He's one of them.
All right, what are we doing?
We're top green. 3, buddy. Kratzer, Kentucky. Roby, Kentucky. And Geringer. I think it's Geringer, Portland, Indiana. Surprised somebody hadn't let me know what that is yet.
That's it for the red flag. We're back to green. Billy. Somebody needs to give Junior a green flag so he can put the checkered down.
Listen.
He keeps waving that checkered flag.
Listen, Tim, when I went out there and got fresh air, he said, I just told Junior to calm down. He was out there going nuts on somebody, and I said, that was Russ shining down from the clouds. Russ Clark, I'll tell this story to the day I die. The first time I ever met Russ Clark. He said, if you hit Tony Penwell one more time, I'm going to break your stick. As soon as the green flag dropped, I roasted Tony Penwell. He threw a red flag. I thought he was going to climb in the car with me. He ripped my stick off. He thought I was mad at him. I said, no, you did exactly what you said you were going to do. But I'll be darned if I stop hitting somebody that I've been derbying with just because you told me to and let him hit me in the wheel.
Right. I'll
take the stick off before I take that. He did, though. He did exactly what he said he was going to do.
Look at the passenger in Geringer's car.
What's he say?
Watch his hands. He's at his own wheel.
Oh, yeah, and he's turning?
He's doing all the steering in there.
You know what I've wondered before? I've wondered if that's just habit or if it's like if anybody's ever done that as a strategy, like you watch my hands of what way they move.
Right.
You do exactly what I do.
Right.
I don't know. I'll probably never ride with somebody. I've seen the Kratzer machine giving the driver an earful too. Man, I can't imagine sitting over there and not being able to control anything.
Oh, that was a
good shot. Geringer on Charlie Roby. He got in there pretty good. Roby was able to escape without the front wheel coming off, but that was a good shot.
They just came down and assessed the situation with Kratzer. And I think they're probably going to just leave him sit down there. Kratzer's got to be on the clock. Hasn't really made a hit in a bit, but coming down. Made contact there.
Garinger, Portland, Indiana. It's a pretty good fair. That's where Brad Barnett and that whole crew's from.
Jay County Fairgrounds.
Yes, sir. They pack them in.
It's a beautiful location.
Oh, yeah. That's where we had Mayhem for a little while.
Yeah. During COVID, it was the home of every derby in the Midwest. It was the only place that was able to still do it.
Kratzer just took a haymaker from Garinger. I like to see Garinger turn it up, man. It's down to it. It's time to put the rock in the hole and get up on that wheel.
Honestly, as packed in as the rear is, I'd like to see him turn it around, but he knows his car better than I do.
Yeah, I always did say that, Steve. Ain't nobody knows better what's going on in them inside that car. I see people over there jumping up and down on the sidelines. I ain't never in my life looked over to somebody and asked them what I needed to do.
Charlie's getting hot. Starting to blow a lot of smoke at the tail end of the throttle, you know.
Roby?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You'll see when he gets on the gas.
Out. Kratzer back on the clock. Stalled out. Time ticking on the 4:27. You're right about Garinger. That right side is hanging down in the dirt awfully low for my liking. But it looks pretty loose, like it's kind of just flopping around, like it's not real solid.
It is.
I'm still with you, though. It's down to it. You got that front end. You saved it all night for a reason. It's time to use it. Unload the clip. Kratzer, he's got to be about out of time.
Stopwatch in hand, on the radio.
Roby going to give him a little help. Maybe, I don't know. He still ain't made contact.
Nope.
Oh, he
still didn't.
Oh, man. I bet you he's about done.
Mark, I apologize for even having to say this about your point series. I haven't followed your changes this season as much as I did last season.
Yeah.
Do you still offer like a closer or anything like that you were doing before?
I don't. I did that the first year where when it got down to it, if they got the crowd on their feet, I give them an extra something. I didn't because nobody cared. They didn't. I think I had one person. John Shipley did it out in Pennsylvania. And when it got down to it, there was just about 95% of the people wasn't willing to take that chance of junking somebody and taking the chance of putting themselves out probably. But no, I didn't stick around with that.
Garinger's in trouble. That loose stuff is going to go under the tires and get him hung up.
Well,
it was just moving.
Charlie Roby. Man, it's Derby, though, Steve. It's Derby. Anything can happen. I ain't saying nothing. All I know,
my goodness.
A whole wad of crap. Kratzer is stalled out. Charlie Roby, that right front wheel just wobbling away. Look, that's frame rails and everything. It's ripped off right behind the hump on the right side. Charlie Roby sees it. I can promise you Daryl Monroe in there saying, get all over it. He just about ran over it right there.
Oh, man.
Did you see Charlie? I thought he was hung up on that dead car. I mean, that's what I love, man. You just never know. That's why I'd never give up. Yeah, it's time. It's time. It's time to let it loose. I don't think Kratzer still made a hit. There he is right there, though. Oh, he got it. TKO. Kratzer just worked his way into either first or second. Unless they help him, Garinger is not going to move. I've been wrong all night, and I'm okay with it. Wow. Heads up driving. hit the gas hard enough to spin off of it, he is got risky business following him around.
Oh, my goodness.
He going to back right over it.
Yes. Yep.
Son of a buck. He's figured it out, though. He can drive right off of it.
For now.
Man, it's amazing what you figure out inside that car. Steve, this right here is why you let it fly right now. It's time to put the rock in the hole because you mess around and lose the Derby with all this stupid crap happening.
Time to finish. Time to turn it up. Trust your build.
This is why you poke that front end in the corner. Yep. That way when it comes down to it, it's time to throw the punch. That whole piece fell off. Charlie's going to run over it. They better throw a red flag. Yep. Now that's a game changer for Geringer. He's back in business.
Yeah.
Man, what heads up driving by him. Steve, so many people I've watched, they just don't push the gas hard enough to drive off of it. They sit there and mess around, throw their hands up, look around. He smashed that gas and drove right off of it. Hopefully it didn't get up there into anything on the oil pan or anything on Charlie. I mean, it had frame rail and everything on it. He might not come off of that.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, that ain't what you want flopping around under there, the radiator and everything there. Look at that. Is that Tim Jr.? I can't tell.
I can't tell either. I think Kratzer... Boy, the way they were acting, I thought he was going to wave off right there. Yeah, that was Junior. He's got the checkered flag in his hand.
We are at the mercy of the drivers. We cannot control their cars or their thoughts, nor do we know what they should be doing because they are in that car, and I don't believe anybody knows better than them right now.
I mean, we can be trailer couch quarterbacks all day long.
Yep. What I would have did, what they should have done, what they did wrong. We are bleacher creatures, Steve.
Amen.
Attaboy, Charlie. Get up on that wheel.
Yes, sir. Keep
turn that new
tire.
engine. Yeah.
Flatten that tire. He won't have the clearance.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about, man. Stuff like that starts happening, puts you in a bad spot. Next thing you know, you got broke trailing arms, a flat tire, and it don't matter if you do got the straightest front end on the track.
Right. Come on, Charlie.
Demolition Derby is crazy. It's crazier than I am.
What did Sean Allen say yesterday? Demolition Derby is the evolution of change.
That was the most amazing. We need to make a quote of that, his picture on it.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And it is the whole time. This whole time we've watched, Charlie's lost that rear tire. He's got a broke trailing arm. Kratzer somehow can move again. Geringer loses the whole back of his car. I mean, it has been an evolution of change. Sean Allen, you can write that down, stamp it, trademark it. That's all you, buddy.
I'm worried about Kratzer. Temperature-wise, blowing up, going up in flames here.
Well, I can tell you what he's not afraid to do is roast her down. It does make me nervous, Steve-O, when that transmission starts smoking.
I've seen some bad transfires in my times.
Billy Pinwell is probably one that scared me the most because I was afraid he wasn't going to be able to get out quick enough. And that's why when you see Tim Clark, if he stops a Derby because of transmission smoke, that's why, because of that night.
Yeah. he comes. Tires pointing at each other on the Kratzer machine.
Yeah, I know Ryan Kratzer pretty well. We go back a long way. I just don't know him well enough to know if that's his son in there or nephew or something, but we go way back. And he should have, you know, he's done a good job because he probably should have been out a long time ago, but he's hung right in there.
Catching myself before I say something.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to jinx nobody or anything crazy to happen. It is just, we're at the mercy of them, man. It's down to it. It's anybody's game right now.
Listen, we've said it before. We can be armchair quarterbacks the whole time, but these are youth drivers. They do need to learn from this experience. I hope they go back and watch, especially these last 3 cars, and see how taxing their driving style right now is on their drivetrain.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing a lot of pushing. And just something to learn from.
I always say these old cars, they've only got so much in them, and they're pretty much, I mean, every time you hit, every minute you take out there, it's time's expiring. So when it gets down this far, man, anything can happen for sure. I mean, probably the biggest game changer is Gehringer losing that piece off the back of his car. I thought he was done. Yeah. I was wrong. I thought he was done. Where did Kratzer go, Steve?
Back in the corner. Listen to those hot engines, man. Clickety-clack.
I don't know if that's Gehringer's.
Kratzer's just sitting idle. Won't refire.
Mano a mano, Mr. Kratzer probably going to be in the number 3 spot. Daryl Monroe telling Charlie to lean on him. Charlie got plenty of power left. He's been steaming, but like you said, man, the longer this goes, It sure does tax those drivetrains, transmission and all. Trailing arm's about to fall out of it.
Scratcher's officially out.
That left rear flat on Charlie not helping him out any. I'll tell you what I wouldn't do if I was in, mess around long enough for them to make them go front to front like they did in that one heat.
Right.
It looks like Charlie'd probably get the upper hand of that.
That worked out well for you last time, Mark.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I was wrong as wrong could be.
Ooh.
That was an old Butler County slide. Like, he got me. He got me. Get out
me.
the black flag.
Look how bad that shot was. They are steering in unison. They're driving with one mind right now.
He got a right rear flat. Staying nice and patient. Not panicking. Charlie's not allowed to sit there and hold him. They're not freaking out.
Yeah.
You just got to trust the officials at this point. You know there's not a pin to win. Oh,
that was wild.
Yeah, I thought he was going to wad him up in there. He did a nice job of climbing on that wheel and staring through that gap. Because if he could have got him broadside,
yeah,
that could have been a bad deal. Gehringer's a little driver. I watched that passenger, though, just like you said. When they went flying through that hole, that passenger was all up on that wheel, too. Oh, man. Flip a quarter, I don't know. One of them better decide they want to be the Bash for Cash champion real quick.
Right. Right now they're being passive. They're waiting each other out.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, man. You can feel a whole lot going on in your car. You know that all it takes is one mistake. And I mean, there ain't no judgment coming from me here. I mean, these are youth drivers. It's good experience for them. But one of them's going to have to decide that they want to be the winner. Before smashing helps them decide who's going to be the winner, and they will. They won't fiddle around with this too long.
Yeah.
Both of them got a rear flat. Charlie stalled out.
Yep, that's what I was afraid of.
He's got the fuel. He's looking for the fire. Roby trying to get it fired. Gehringer trying to put the rock in the hole. The 920 trying to seal the deal.
There it goes. There it goes.
Oh. Ooh. Yeah. We both oofed at the same time. Charlie going to have to keep her running now.
Don't get off the gas.
Geringer did a good job there, heads up driving. He got on him pretty hard there. Keep that finger off the trigger.
Absolutely. You know. Charlie, time to get some distance. Crank that wheel that's not attached to anything.
Yeah. Look how hard it is for Geringer to turn that car. He's been doing that for a while.
Yeah, he's exhausted.
He's going to be wore out. It's not that hard for the passenger to steer it, though. He looks like he's doing all right.
Yeah.
His arms ain't even going to be sore. Daryl telling Charlie something. A little coaching from the passenger seat on the 18 1/4.
Charlie's getting frustrated. He's looking at the sidelines.
Yeah, he was holding Geringer in there. Geringer sat there nice and cool. Charlie throwing his hands up to the officials and everything. Oh, man. God love Demolition Derby.
Charlie stalled again.
Roby stalled out again. Here comes the punch. Now we got the wall behind him. He needs to shorten her up a little bit, keep that finger off the trigger. There I go saying what he needs to do. I didn't learn that, though. You stay right there, keep that engine. They can't hear their engine cranking. Keep them a little frustrated. You can hear some happy fans out there for Geringer.
Helmets off.
That's it.
What a derby.
Wow.
Man.
Did we go 2 hours like I said?
Yeah, I think so.